this whole IEP process and meeting is a lot to take on, especially by yourself. Where do you turn for support or information?
I agree. This whole special needs thing with your kid and just an IEP in and of itself, this is not the thing you want to embark on alone. And there are places out there, great places that offer support, advice, information, but there's also places that are not so helpful. And Google is a great resource for a lot of things, but there's also a lot of angry people on the internet giving advice that's not so great, that's rooted in anger. So I would be wary of Google and use it to find meetup groups or actual face to face groups of people that can actually provide information that you need. I found that the Family Resource Center of California has some great information of places that you can go to, and you can just look online for that and go to a support group or to a meeting. I know that there's resource networks that are in our neighborhoods that we don't necessarily know we need until we go and we meet these other people who have been walking our same journey but have way more experience and way more insight that can kind of help calm our frantic nerves when we're in that freak out space, as well as just information like how do I get speech therapy or where is there a good occupational therapist. There's nothing like word of mouth advice, right? And I think the more that you can kind of at least find one person that you can go to email, hey, where would I go for this, or what would you do in this situation? There's just great value in face-to-face help. There's also online communities in terms of social media that you can meet people that have a child your child's age with the same diagnosis and they live in your neighborhood and you didn't know that until you got on Facebook or whatever, Meetup. So it's a great thing for that. And as well as the school district. The school district has meetings that connects both parents with each other and then parents with school district staff to help each other kind of be on the same page in terms of what can we do to help our children with special needs. So it's a balance. You gotta use the internet in order to find helpful people and just take everything with a grain of salt.
I feel like sometimes I'll meet certain people and sometimes I connect with them and sometimes I don't because their perspective towards this thing is different than mine. The way they're approaching things is different than me. So I think that meeting other parents is important, but sometimes you have to sort of try and try again until you find what the right fit is. That's been my experience anyway.
It's kind of like dating, right?
Yeah, you don't. I mean, you got to just try it out and meet somebody. Yeah, exactly. And see if there's a connection, and if there is, then you can continue it. And if not, it doesn't mean that you can't get support from other parents. It means that that just wasn't the right fit for you, and to keep on trying.
Right. And I think you can only really, for me, I can only really do that and find that shared chemistry or philosophy or approach in person. It's just a different vibe than what you can see online. And as I've exposed myself to these support groups that I didn't really think that I needed, but hey, I'll check it out, I ended up realizing, oh my gosh, there's like just the relationships in those groups have been infinitely helpful to me during those. There's hard times. There's hard times in preparing for an IEP, in just having a child with special needs, and to have that person who's gonna, encourage you or just, agree with you instead of just trying to fix it or, just, give up or, those relationships are key and very important.
And it sounds like you have to just sort of put yourself out there and just show up to places and introduce yourself to people. I know that's hard for a lot of parents. It can feel really intimidating walking into a support group meeting and you don't know what's going to happen or who's on the other side of that door. But it sounds like you just need to take a deep breath and walk in and see what happens. And it might be great and it might not, but you won't know until you try.
That's right. And you're never going to get stoned or attacked as you walk into a support group. So I think a lot of times it's the fear of the unknown and maybe fear of our own emotions that are going to come up. But I think just knowing that there are places and people who want to help and have a lot of things to offer to help you in this journey of having a child with special needs, just knowing that those people are out there is super helpful. And like you said, taking the first step and just finding out where those groups meet or showing up at a first meeting, that's going to end up being super great in the long run.